You've been supplied with the following source files, right? These are source files that have been supplied with us. You would assist Tower Racing to analyze data about performance when testing is raising costs. You would also create a web page to advertise this raising team. The web page has been created already. Where's the evidence document? The web page has been done, and so there's a video on it. So there will be a link for the web authoring video right here in the description, just in case you can't find it in the YouTube channel. But it's been done, and I think we have it here. Okay, this is where we get to do the final printing if there's any evidence document in the spreadsheet. If not, we just go ahead and print. All right. So what to do the testing of the race car? So evidence document has been done. Task 2, spreadsheet. Open and examine the file J25 fuel mix.csv. Okay, so this is right here. So I'm going to open it. And of course, we're using the Microsoft Excel. I have my slide right here. It's so amazing. Contains in-depth everything about spreadsheet that you need to know in preparing for the exam. Okay, so it's very, very important. It's been a whole lot of work, years of research, ensuring that you have everything you need to do exceedingly well. And this is where I get to talk about the combo plan, the teacher's combo plan, because this is a combo plan that has every material, resource, topic slides, and interactive quizzes, personal note from me, etc., etc., etc. And this is to make it easy, to ease the stress for you as a teacher, so that when you're teaching your students, they can follow through the process, right? You could see the flash will be on the screen, so you can send a message to the sales team and you can get a copy of yourself. Now, the beauty about this combo plan is we have it limited because we will be increasing the price soon. So you really want to get yourself that copy. And when we have new materials, right, you automatically get a copy without paying extra cent. So really, it's something you really need to get. All right. So I'm going to open this. All right. And the first thing I want to do here is to click here. This is to select all. This is your column. This is your row. And I'll take my cursor here and double click. All right. And place in the header, okay, the test performed on the header test in the header followed by space. So they didn't specify which of the header I'm going to do that. Okay, fine. So I have my insert text here and I have my header and footer. So I'm probably going to do it here. So I'll just paste this. Test performed on followed by space, then automated dates. What else? A space, the text at space, followed by space, done, automated time. Okay, so space, automated date, space, at, okay, done. All right. So you can actually see the date in which this video is being produced. Place left align in the footer. So I'll click here, right here, I'll go to header and footer, go to footer, and left align, okay. In the footer, the text, test by, followed by space, yes, then your name, center number and candidate number. Center number is AN017, candidate number is 2025. So your name, comma, space, center number, comma, space, and then your candidate number. All right. Okay, I think that is done. So you click outside of this. Don't forget, you click outside of this, you go to view. If you don't click outside of this, if you go to view, it will be grayed out, right? So you can click outside. Now you can actually click here to normal view, or you can come here to view normal, whichever one you want to do, your choice, right? And then what to save this as a spreadsheet with a file name, fuel data followed by your center number underscore candidate number. So fuel data underscore your center number underscore candidate number. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. and I have my file, save as, and then change this, don't forget, to an Excel workbook. Please take note. If you use a CSV, your formulas, when you close it, will be gone. So I'm going to paste this, right? And my center number is AN017. My candidate number is 2025. And I'm going to click on save. Okay, hope we're having a good time, right? Step 2, I have merge cell A1 to F1. A1 to F1. Just want to be sure. A1 to F1. Okay, so I'm going to merge that. Done. Format this cell with a black 40-point serif. Okay, 40 points. Okay, so I'm just going to type it 40, hit on enter, and then serif, that's your Times New Roman. Okay, on the yellow background. Okay, so this is my yellow background. Done. Merge cell A3 to B3. A3 to B3. Okay, A3 to B3. What again? A11 to B11. A11 to B11. Done. Format this merge cell with a light gray background. With a light gray background. Light gray. So I have this here. I'll probably put 25. 25 for my light gray. Okay. Format row 1 and 18 of the spreadsheet to look like this. Row 1 and 18. Row 1 and 18. Okay, so to format it to look like this. So I'm going to wrap this. Okay, and then adjust it here. So it look like this. So this is what? Centered align. 1. And what else? Now notice where the 1 is. So it's also what? Align what? Is middle align. Okay. And what else here? Notice the way it is. It is test data for fuel mixes. For fuel mixes. So I need to adjust this. Okay. Also adjust this. Good. To A to F. All right. And then I have, now notice this. Look at the way, this is how it's going to be. So there is no, we're going to add borders to this, right? Now take note, when the lines are like this, you're not to add border. But when the lines are like straight, you have to add border. So notice that here, we are not going to have, at the end of the day, we're not going to have this. Now we can decide to remove it here, the grid lines, and then work what we have, or we can just work with it, and then when we're printing, that will be sorted. Okay, so we have all test. So notice that this is centered align, all test. Now I want to look at this. I'm trying to look at the font. Okay, let me adjust this. Good, because I noticed that was, I will just give another better. This is better. Okay, so this is better. I'm looking at the font. If it's the same thing as, give me a minute. I'm trying to find the font. Look at the F. Trying to look at the L. We say L here. T. No, it's not. It's not serif. It's not serif. Look at the T here, and look at the T for the serif. So it's not the same. Okay. It's important. Details are important to me. You have to be attentive to details. It's in the details, right? It's in the details. Okay. So here is right align. Just move this a bit. Um, and 2, okay. 11, just put this here, center line. And then I highlight this, right align. Okay. I think this is the point where I get to do this quickly. Yes, so this is, I'll add the border here. Okay, I'll also add the borders here as well. So I can do this, also add the borders here as well. So I can do this. Okay, and also for row 17, notice what's there in row 17 as well. There is a border for row 17, so take note of that. And what is there as well? It is middle align. Okay. I like this. Middle align. What else? What do you notice? Look at what the 17 is. So it is centered align and then middle align. Okay. And again, it is text wrap. So I'm going to do that. It is text wrap. So I would adjust this and also bring this down a bit. Okay, good. Also wrap this as well. Okay. Test time, the way it is, 4 mix number. So it's only the win adjustment and win accepted that was wrapped. Okay, so it's important. It's in the details. Now look at what they said. They said format row 1 to 18 of the spreadsheet. So row 1 to 18 is important to look like this. So here as well, I can just do shift control arrow right, select this as well, arrow down. Okay, and center the line. Okay, so we have that. Make sure row 19 to 77. Row 19. Okay, so because row 18, you can see that row 19 to 77 are formatted the same way as row 18. Now, they are taking the pains to let you know. So if you don't even do it well, you are not going to see the mark. So we're actually being honest with you. You're not going to see the mark because we've taken out the pains to give you all the instructions that you need to follow from the very beginning of making this. And of course, we're going to work on this as well because this is also affected. Um, okay, let me see. I think what I can do here is I would probably increase the fuel mix, increase the test time. Yep, I think that's fine. Good. That's how to solve it. Okay. Okay, so I think we're on a yellow background. Yeah, black. So the fonts usually are black on default, right? So you don't really need to add the black, really. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so let's move on. Create using cell D18, D18 to D77. Shift Control arrow down. D18 to D77, a name range called T time. Now let's look at name range. I have it right here in the slide to help you understand what we're doing. Now we'll talk about name range, right? Look at it. We have a name cell and we have a name range. Look at it. A name cell refers to a single cell that have been given a name. Okay, a single cell that have been given a customized name. If you want to add it to your notes, a customized name. For example, I want D1 not to be D1, but when I do equals to AT underscore total, it gives me that. It becomes D1. Now, name range refers to the range of cell. Remember that toe is denoted with what? Colon. Okay, is denoted with what? So, for example, what we have here is D18. The toe here is colon to D77. So we're going to give it a customized name. So when we do equals to T time, it automatically finds this. So this range will now be given a customized name. And of course, to get this is the name manager. Am I making sense? Are we together? Are we having a good time? Okay, good. So now I'm going to click on formula and I'll click on define name, right? Define name. And right here, I'm going to choose T time. T time. Okay, T time. Now, okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'll click on what? The scope is the workbook and the reference, it refers to this. So I'll click on OK. Now they said, place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the name and range of cell. So I'm going to go to my formula, name manager. Now, you are not allowed, if you take this screenshot here, you're going to lose the mark. Let me tell you why you're going to lose the mark, because it doesn't properly show, right? It doesn't show the reference, right? The reference is still cut off. So we're not going to assume that, oh, this is what it is. Except maybe you want to take the whole of this, right? With this, we can be able to see where it reference to. That's fine. But let me show you something about here. So you can decide to take, if you take like this, that's fine, because the examiner can also see the reference here. That's fine. But if you want to take like this, it's also fine. This also gives us the scope that this goes across the workbook, right? So whichever one, but we must see the reference. The reference has to be legible, that you are referencing from this to this. Okay, if you cut it off, you won't be able to have it. Okay, all right. So T time, right? So I'll take my screenshot. So I'll use my snipping tool to do that. Again, we're not just solving a past paper, I'm also teaching you so you can learn. So I'm going to take a screenshot here and I'll click on OK. All right. So this is step 3. Okay, so we have something to do here. So this is step 3. So that means that step 3, evidence 1, paste it. Or you can right click and you paste, whichever one. So I can come here, picture format. Under the shape width, I will increase it because I want it legible. I will increase it. So this will now be evidence 2 for now. This will be evidence 3. This will be evidence 4. Okay. We have not printed this, that's why. So I'll probably for now, I'll take this off. So I'll save my work. Now, place in cell B4 a formula to display the fastest test time. B4, right? To display the fastest test time. Okay. Using the name range created in step 3. Now, I want to explain something to you, right? Now, this is a race. The fastest test time is the lowest test score. The fastest test time is the lowest time it got for the car to reach that finish line. If I got to the finish line by 10 minutes, and another person got to the finish line by 90 minutes, who's the fastest? I am, because I got there 10 minutes. Okay, it's fine. Let me use another example. If you got to school, to your real school, by 6 or by 7 a.m. and somebody else got there by 6:30, who came to school first? The one that came to school what? 6:30. So if they say, okay, who is the fastest student to come to school? They're going to say the one that came by what? 6:30. Why not 7? But because 7 looks higher. So when you need to understand when to use, take note, when to use maximum and minimum. These are functions, and I think we have them. We have them. Everything is right here. So we have them right here. So look at it. It's right here. Mean. Take a past it. Yeah. It used to find the largest number in a set of values. Okay. Now, it is used to identify the highest value in a range of number. It is used to find the smallest number in the what? In the set of what value. It again is useful to identify the minimum value. So, yes, on a normal scale, if you're looking for a set of numbers, 7 is higher than 6:30. But we are looking at arrival. Who is the fastest to come to school? So now look at what they said now. Look at what they said. Please understand this. Look at what they said. They said to display the fastest test time. So that simply means that which of the, look at it. Remember, let's look at the beginning. Let's look at the beginning so we understand what they said. Tower racing to analyze data about performance when testing is racing car. You are testing the racing car. Which one is faster? And they were looking at fuel mixes on the straight track and all that. So the bit about analysis is that spreadsheet, it covers every field, and you must have an idea. Are you with me? So the fastest test time will be what? The lowest time it took to arrive to that particular place. So here we have what? Equals to what? Mean. And then don't forget T time using the name range. Close it. This is what we have. Right? This is what we have. Okay, nothing was given, so this is what we have. Okay. Step 5. Place in cell B5 a formula to display the slowest test time. So the slowest test time will not be, if, let's go back to the example of coming to school. Somebody came to school 6:30, somebody came to school 7 a.m., somebody came to school 8, somebody came to school 9, somebody came to school 10. My goodness, 10. So who's the slowest? You came to school by 10. This is not a concert. No. Right? Why? You know, something must have happened. Obviously, something must have happened. But yeah, it took time. So it simply means that the slowest, okay, test time will be the highest number. Are we together? So this will be equals to max. And then T time. Because again, they said to display the slowest test time. So they don't need to tell you because you're using the name range already. So even if you highlight it, because you'll be like, okay, Mr. Ajiro, they didn't tell us to do that. Okay, it's fine. They said, what are we doing? Remember, in cell B4, I'll calculate the slowest test time, right? So let's do that. Shift, Control, arrow down. What do we have there? It's still the same thing. So, all right. So we have 17.6. A lot. And you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE. And yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about and the fee is really quite affordable, really. It's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time, even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com and they'll reply to you. Place in cell B6 to display the average test time. Okay, to display what? The average test time. So we have equals to average, and then you have T time. Right, it's right here. I hit on enter. Okay, are we learning? Good. 3 different fuel mixes are being tested. So they tell that they are testing the fuels, right? Which way is faster with this particular car? Which one is slower with this? Okay, this particular fuel will give us what we are looking for. Okay. Now they said, place in cell B7. Let's take note. In cell B7, where is it? For mix 1, okay. A formula using the name range, take note, created in step 3, right? So we have here will be T time. Let's put it here so you can see what I'm doing. To display the average test for mix 1 number. Take note, for mix 1. For mix 1. Okay, so now we want to know, this is for mix 1. These were the fuel mixed for mix 1 number, and this was the test time we got. This is for mix 2. This is what the test time we got. This is for mix 3. This was the test result. The test time we also got that it took that particular car to arrive there. So this is fuel mixes. Okay, so for the mix 1, these were the arrivals. So we want to, right, using the name range, place a formula using the name range to display the average test. Now, this is average. The function here is average. But guess what? For mix 1, there is a criteria. Let's go to our slide. Are we learning? I want you to understand this. And that's what Ajiro Tech is for, right? Okay. We're having a good time. Okay, I see. All right, so we have this. So I think we have it close to no sum if and average if. Yeah, right here. Sum if and average if. Now look at average if. The sum if, count if, they're all the same because they have the criteria. Now for the average if, it calculates the average of numbers. Okay, it calculates the average of numbers in a range. Okay, it calculates the average of number in a range that meets a specific condition or criteria. Okay, so what in a range? So it's going to meet. So in this case, what is it meeting? Mix 1 number. Okay, mix 1 number, and then it combines the capability of the if function, which is what to check the condition, and what the average function, which is to calculate what the averages. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So here we have what for mix 1, we have equals to average if. Now, what is the range? Now, whenever we're looking for the range, let me go back to the style sheet. Whenever we're looking for the range, look at it. Look at the formula. Range, criteria. So the criteria should be part of the range. Right? And then your average range. What are you now having as the average? So your criteria must be part of the range. So that will give an idea. Okay, so let's do that. So here we have the range here will be this. Right? which is what? Shift Control arrow down. Everything. Everything. This is average if. Everything. Comma. What's the criteria? 1. Now, most of you will be asking, Mr. Gerald, why are we not putting it in quote? Because it's a number. We put it in quote when it's a label. Let me read this. When it's a number, we don't put it in quote, in double speech marks, right? But when it's a number, when it's a label, we put it in double speech marks. When it's a letter, a word, we put it in double speech marks, in quote. When it's a number, we don't. I think I've broken it down as simple as possible, right? Are we together? Then we have this, comma. What's the average range? The average range is what? Look at it, average test time. Let's go back to the question so you don't get let's say what a formula using the name range to display the average test time. So we want to know the average what? Test time. So that will be what? Which will be this. Now you saying using the name range, watch this. Shift Control arrow down. Automatically it's going to have the name range. Right? So you could type it, you could highlight whichever you want to do, that's fine. And then I will do this. Okay. Now this is what we call, here is what we call the formula bar, right? So I will always advise you to always use the formula bar if the formulas are much, so you don't affect your work. So whichever one is comfortable for you, if you want to use it here, or you use it here, it's fine. Then you hit your enter. So you have that. All right. So the next one is what? Now look at this. They said place in cell B8. This is B8. Okay. Using the name range created in step 3 to display the average test time for mix 2. So it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same concept. So here we're having equals to average if. Average if. The range here is going to be what? This. Shift Control arrow down. All right. Comma 2, comma t time. Okay, and then I'll close it, hit on enter. And I'll come again. Equals to average if. What's the range? This. Shift Control arrow down. Comma. What's the criteria? 3, comma t time. T time. That's not the spelling for it. T time. This is it here. Okay. Right? And you hit on enter. So now we have this. I know most of you like, Sijay, you have just copied and paste. No, I want you to understand it. If it's a private class, of course, I know how to do that. Right? So I want you to understand it as if you don't even know it before. So you don't get it confused. Okay. So just, okay, it's not bolded. Okay. All right. So hope we're making progress and hope we're understanding this. All right. Let's go on. Tests are only acceptable if there is little or no following wind. Tests are only acceptable if there is little or no following wind. Place in cell F18. F18. Okay. F18. A replica formula. Replica talks about your replicating. To check the wind adjustment for this test. Look at it. Wind adjustment. Look at it. This is the wind adjustment. Okay. All right. If the value is below +2, display the word yes. If not, display the word no. Let me say this. Okay. If. That's an if function. Let's come to our wonderful slide. I want to teach you. Now, when we talk about if function returns a value if the condition is true. If function has -1, -1, that's what if function has. So that simply means that if they are nested ifs, right, you're having what? So many true, one false. But in this case, for if function, we're having one true, one false. So that simply means that it will return one value if the condition is met, and will return another if it is not met. But for it to be possible, there have to be what? A logical test. A mathematical operation has to be carried out to know if the condition is met or not. Are we learning? Are we learning? Are we together? Right? Starting with the fact that it contains a pair of brackets, of course, and then we have each of them separated by what? A comma. So now we understand this. Now let's go back. So we're having what? Equals to if here, and then if the value is below. So what is the mathematical representation of below? Anything that is above is what? Anything that is above, please understand this. Anything that is above is greater. Anything that is below, from your knowledge of what? Chapter 21 and also chapter 18 will help you as well, right? Is what? Less than. They said below what? +2. So below +2 simply means 2. Right? Simply means what? 2. Okay. F18. So you have equals to if. Now look at what they said. They said a replica formula to check the win adjustment for this test. The win adjustment. So that's what? If this right here, this is the win adjustment, is less than, right, or is below +2, which is 2, comma, display the word yes. So I think I will do it here. So now, because this is a label, right, or a word, I'll put it in double quote, and I'll type what? Yes. Please type it exactly the way it is. If not, what will be the first value? If not, display the word what? No. So I'll put it in double quote, and then I'll put no. And that's it. So the win adjustment, is it below 2? No. They said the replicable what? Formula. So you want to what? Replicate this formula for all tests. So I'm going to what? Take my cursor here, double click. So now you can see that this one is below, right? Win accepted for below what? 2. Yes. This one, this is -4.5 is below 2, right? And all that. Can we see that? Right? So this is the win adjustment. So this we are practically saying that if this is what? Less than. So is this less than 2? Yes. Is 0 less than 2? Is 0 less than 2? Yes. 0 is less than 2. Right? Is 8.5 less than 2? No. It's greater. Can you see that? It's greater. Is 0.2 less than 2? Yes. It's below. It's below. Okay. Hope we're learning. Look at this. For the calculation of for the win adjusted test, the result will only count if the win levels are acceptable. Let's take note of these key things here. They said for the win adjustment test, the result will only count if the win level are what? Acceptable. Now, a lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at agile@gmail.com, and they will reply to you. Place in cell B12. Cell B12. Average test time for mix 1. Okay. A formula to display the average test time for mix number 1, where the wind is at an acceptable level. What's an acceptable level? Yes. Look at it now. Wind acceptable? Yes. Are we learning? Yes. So when the wind is what? So wind acceptable? Yes. Okay. So what to display the average test time? Right? Average test time for mix 1. Where? Take note. Where? Now that's the criteria. Okay. That's the criteria. Now look at this. Now most of them might not see. They said to display the average test time for mix what? 1. That's the criteria. So you need to understand how to interpret questions. Okay, you need to understand how to what? Interpret what? Questions. So now look at this. So we have an average for the mix 1, right? Where the wind is an acceptable what? Level. So this acceptable level here is what? The criteria, which is what? Your yes. That's so that because this becomes what? An average what? If. So you have equals to average if. Now what's the range? Your range is usually your range usually what will be found what within the criteria. So if the criteria is yes, that simply means that it must be part of what? That range. That is the cheat code for it. So you have this shift control, that's F18 to F77. Let me see. Sorry. Look at it. Look. Sorry. There's an error here. Look at it. Let me. There's something here. Let me look at it, because this is. Watch this. They said to display the average test time for mix 1. To display the average test time for mix 1. Please take note. Mix 1, where the wind is an acceptable level. So not all the mix. Only for what? Mix 1. So that means, I'll take it back. So we have, where do we have till mix 1? So we have till, okay, so we have, yeah, which is this one. So that's F18 to what? To this. Okay. Comma. What's the criteria? The criteria is what? Yes. Okay. Yes. Comma. Now, we want to now look the average for mix one. The average for mix one. So that will be what? This is what will be what? The Look at it now. This is what? Test time. So it will be what? The test time. Okay. So the average of years for the test time. So shift arrow down till we have this. Okay. And then we hit on what? Don't forget my yes. It's going to put it in quote for me anyway, but put it in quote. Yes. Good. Do we understand that? Okay, good. Now, average test time for mix two. Now, that's why you need to understand the question. Because if you look at this is for what? All test. This is for all test. So we're doing for all the text for all the tests. This is for win adjusted test. And that's why they specify it. For the calculation for win adjusted test, the result will only count if the win level are what? Acceptable. So we're looking for only the win adjust for each of the mix. So the next one, step 12, place in cell B13. So I have B13 here to display the average test time for mix number 2, where the win is what? At an acceptable what? Level. So I have what? Equals to average if, right? And then I have the range here. Now, this is for what? Mix 2. So it's going to be from this F38, and I'll move it down. Just looking for it, please. I don't make mistake. To F, permit me. Yes, it's correct. Okay. And then, comma, what's the criteria? Yes. An acceptable level? Yes. Comma, what's the average range? Is going to be here as well, right? This one. So I'll highlight this to this. Okay. Yeah. And then I'll close it. Hit on enter. Okay. And then I will do for this step 13. Place in cell B14. Cell B14. Cell B14 to display the average test time for mix number 3, where the win is at what? At an acceptable what? Level. So we have equals to average if, right? So this is going to be the range for 3. For 3, let me see. No, 3 begins from here. Yes. Shift down. Okay. Comma. What's the criteria? Yes. Comma. And then your average. Remember, we're looking for what? The average test time. So we have this. So that's D58 to D77. And then we have enter. Okay. So I hope we've learned something. Okay, it's important. All right, moving on. Place in cell B15. In cell B15. A formula to display the fuel mix percentage. For the fuel mix, okay, for the fuel mix that gave the fastest Mean adjusted average test time. We talked about the fastest is what? Mean. Test time. Format this cell to display as what? Percentage. Okay. To display as what? Percentage. Now let's look at it again. To display the fuel mix. For the fuel mix that gave. For the fuel mix that gave the fastest mean adjusted average test time. Now look at this. We want to know, right? We want to know something here. Look at it. Now look at the fuel mix for each of them. For mix 1, we have mix 2, mix 3. Now for mix 1, we have 3.2. For mix 2, we have 3.4. For mix 3, we have what? 3.6. Are we seeing this? Now, this is what we are going to do. Now look at this. To display the fuel mix for the now that gave the fastest. So if we are going to know the one that is going to give us the fastest, then we are going to use its logic. And if we're going to use a logic to find what will give us the fastest, because we don't really know, right? Then we're going to use what? The if. Why? Because we want to know which of them. We want to know for the fuel mix for mix 1, we want to know for the fuel mix for mix 2, etc., etc., etc. Which is this? Because we already know the what? We already know the average test time for each of them. Okay, which is this? So we want to know across this, right? Across this, which is this? Across the 2, which is this? Across this, which is this? And each of them will now give us what? The fuel mix. Okay, let me do this so you understand what I'm trying to say. So we have equals to if. Work with me. If, and then we want to know the fastest. Remember, the fastest is what? Is the minimum. Right? And the minimum is going to be what? This one. We want to know the what? The minimum of the 3 of them. We want to know the best mix, which is this. Are we together? Right? Equals to the first one. Please work with me. Okay? Right? So we're not saying that if the minimum won't know the fastest, look what they said. Look at what they said now. For the fuel mix that give the fastest when adjusted average time, the fuel mix in percentage that gave the fastest, we want to know of the 3 which one, right? Okay, so we have this comma, and we'll do it again. If, because this is nested if, and we have it here. Look at it, we said here. Now we'll talk about nested functions. We call them nested function, but we have nested if. That simply means that we're having if functions inside an if function. And again, I said using what? Minus what? 1. That's what I said. Minus what? 1. So you have so many true and 1 false. So if you have 4 condition minus 1, we give you 3 true and 1 false. Okay. So we have another minimum. Okay. And then we'll now highlight the 3 of them, because these are average test time for the mix. Right? Equals to what? The second one. Now look at this. Let me see. This is the logical test. No, I don't have a true here. Wait. I don't have a true. I don't have a true here. There's no true. I'm just doing logical test. Let me do this. So what's the true here? Right? What's the true here? The true here is going to be if any of them here, right, the average, right, fuel mix is what the true value is going to be what 3.2, right? 3.2 what percent. Remember, we're going to format it as percent. So if we don't put the percentage when we are formatting it as percentage, it's not going to work. Do we understand what we are saying? It's not going to work. Okay. So now we can put the other one, right? Because we have added another thing, we'll put them in quotes. We've added a symbol, we'll put it in quotes, comma. Or we can just leave it there. So it will still give us the true value anyway. So because it's together. So let's look at the true. This is the logical test, the true value, the true value. Let's look at another true. If. And then we have the three of them, right? Equals to what? This one, comma, right? What will it give us? For mix 2, 3.4%. 3.4%, comma. We have if. It's just one. They wouldn't have to. It's just two conditions because it's three conditions. 3 minus 1, 2. Right? So 2 to 1 fourth. So the last one will be what? 3.6%. There are three. So 3 minus 1. Okay. So I'll close this. So this one to close this one to close this. So I think I'll hit on enter. Wait, something is wrong. Sorry about that. This one had, look at it. We're looking at the minimum of this, and there was no minimum here. I was wondering, there was no minimum. So if, right, if, yes, so if what? So if the minimum for this, okay, so if the minimum for this, right, so that was not done. Okay, so we have this in percentage. Sorry. Um, okay, I was wondering why that was wrong. Okay, better now. Okay, so we have this. Good. Enter. Okay, so let me save the work. Format as a percentage. So let me format this as a percentage. Done. Okay, good. Right. So it gave us this. So I formatted this 0.034 and then click here to percentage. So we have it. So this was the error that we had here. I know this was one of the things that was really challenging for a lot of students because a lot of students lost mark on this. A lot of students lost mark on this because we are looking at the minimum for the three of them if it's equals to the first one, the minimum of the three of them if it's equals to the other one, right, to give us this and the other one. Okay, right. So the best mix is what we have for 3%, which is what mix 3, right? Mix 3 in percentage, which is 3. So if you look at the fuel mix, you'll see that. All right. So I think this was the one that was probably challenging for a lot of students. I need to explain that. Format all test times to 4 decimal places. Format all test time. If you look at it, some of them are not 4 decimal places. So we have to format it shift control arrow down and then we'll make it 4. Okay, so this is okay, 4. They're all 4. Done. Save your spreadsheet. Okay. Step 16. Print your spreadsheet formula. Print your spreadsheet showing the formula. Make sure. Print your spreadsheet showing the formula. Okay, so I'll click on formulas and I'll click here, show formulas. Now I'll click here to select all and I'll take my cursor here, double click. Okay, so file, print, right? It's already, for me, it's already on landscape. If yours was on portrait, change it to landscape. And what else? Printer is in landscape orientation, done. Rows and column headings are displayed. Rows and column headings, page setup, sheet, rows and column headings here. Content of all cells are fully visible. Okay, so the formulas are here. Please ensure your formulas are not cut off. Very, very important that your formulas are not cut off. And don't forget, it is A4, so print your work. Five. Okay, so I can. Okay, I can do that here. So print out of spreadsheet formula. So I'll click on save. Print your spreadsheet showing the values. So formulas here, I'll click here. Then I'll have to arrange it back. Click here. Click. And then adjust this. This was straight. Test time was also straight. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, I think we got it. Make sure that the printout fits on a single page. So we're showing the values. Printout is in portrait orientation. Okay, so file, print, portrait orientation, and then we check. It's important that we check. We go back and then we check again. Let me see. Rows and column headings are not displayed. Page setup sheet, uncheck it. You can also come here though, data, layout rather, under the grid lines. You can check here, uncheck it. Headings, check here and check here, uncheck, right? It would still work. For the headings, if I check this and I go to file and print, it's there, right? If I come here, remove it, go to file and print, it's off, right? It's something you've learned today. Content of all cells are fully visible. So we have this. I want to ensure that it's the same thing. Okay. They said, let me see. Format all test times. Format all test times. Format all test times. All test times. Not only this, but all test times to 4 decimal places. Four decimal places. Yes, 4 decimal places. So this is done. Okay, it's important. Not just this, all test times. So file, print. So let's go back. So it's always important to check so you don't make unnecessary errors. Single page, printout fits in a single page. Printout is in a portrait orientation, showing the values. Okay, it's fine. Rows and column headings are not displayed. So let me go back. Let me go back and check. So we have this test data for fuel mixes on the straight track. Um, just ensuring that fuel mix. Okay, yeah, I can print. Paper size is A4. So I'll print this. So this is what print out spreadsheet what value. Okay, so there we have it. So we are done with this paper. Yes, it was particularly, like I said, this was one of the things that was really challenging for most students right here. And I'm happy I've been able to explain it, right? Displaying the fuel mix for the fuel mix percentage for the fuel mix that gave the largest when adjusted average test time, which is what? Which is the average test time here for each of the mix. And you want to find the what? What are you finding? The fastest. And I said to find the fastest is we use what? The minimum across all of them. All right. And that's all. Thank you so much for um, watching, for practicing. Please do well to share this video to your friends, to your classmates, and please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel because that's how you're able to receive notifications when there are new videos out and new materials as well. And take care and please do well to practice. All right. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.